Welcome to another episode of the Uncensored Truth Podcast. I'm your brother, Old Guy from Hip Hop News Uncensored. And sitting across from me is my co-host.
What it do? What's good? It's your brother Sam Ant, Viral Hip Hop News. You're in the building with the best. Another episode of the Uncensored Truth Podcast on this Monday evening. Oh God, what's good, my brother?
What up, Sam, man? We in here, man. Like you said, you rocking with the best, man. But nah, man, we humbled, man. We appreciate, all the listeners, everybody who's been sharing the content and listening. LA, Houston, Philly, no matter where you're listening from, we appreciate it. We back. It's been a minute since we actually had a minute to rap together. Man. We've been on a lot of interviews consecutively, but we're gonna get into it this week, man. It's been a rough week last week with the Nipsey Hussle passing, but it's time to move forward. Definitely, man. But how was the weekend, though, Sam, man?
It was real good, man. Like you said, we finally got to move forward, even though he's definitely on everyone's thoughts and minds still, Nipsey Hussle. But it's a great to move forward this weekend. I got to chill with my son and some of his goofy ass friends. Took them out to go chill out, man. It was a great day outside with the weather and all that, man. And then I chilled out Sunday, watched a little basketball. I watched the Portland, Oklahoma City game. Got to watch the Milwaukee Bucks game in the evening, man. Trying to get back into the ball. Playoffs in the building. So yeah, man, I think all in all, my weekend was good, man. How was yours?
Oh, it was great, man. Cleaned out the garage and stuff. Just doing a little home.
That shit boring.
I know, man. But sometimes you just gotta, just do the family thing and whatnot. But yeah, man, just ready to could not wait to get back here because this is what we do. This is what we actually love to do and just discuss some of the main news topics in front of the people and get your feedback and interact with you. We do appreciate that. But if you're listening on YouTube, Spotify, Google Play, wherever you're listening, only thing we actually do is please share this video with one other person or share it on your Facebook timeline, and we definitely do appreciate it. But we got quite a lineup today, man. Nipsey Hussle is once again in the news. Now we know the people, everybody was always asking, like, well, who were the two guys that got shot with him? Well, one of the guys' name is Kerry, Lathan. He spoke out today and did an interview, and that's circulating around the internet. And he's pretty much speaking about what exactly happened that day when Nipsey Hussle was killed. We're going to talk about that. Also, Freeway, the source did an article on Freeway. He talked about his epic battle with Cassidy. We're going to rap about that. Also, which kind of got, swept underneath the rug with the whole Nipsey Hussle thing last week. Birdman, sat down with Drink Tramps and talked about his feud with Rick Ross about a year or so after Rick Ross came at him. So that, as well as some other things today, man, it's going to be one of them shows, man. You already know.
Can't wait, man. Looking forward to it. Shout out to everyone listening on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and all major online outlets right now on this Tuesday morning for you listening.
Yeah.
We appreciate you. And of course, on Viral Hip Hop News Uncensored, and the Uncensored Truth Podcast official channel. We do appreciate you. Yeah. Oh God, what we got cooking first, man?
I'm going to start with this one, man. Nipsey Hussle, this thing, is keeping steam simply because, people are still things that remain unanswered at this point. Family members, friends, I've been making statements, comments, and people are continuing to talk about it as it should be. When anything happens, OJ Simpson or, 9/11, people talked about it extensively. So I think these are one of those things that had an impact on the community very heavy, and we're going to keep talking about it. But this one I think is definitely needed because everybody was asking, like I said earlier, about who were the two individuals that got shot next to Nipsey. Now, a lot of people thought that maybe that was Nipsey's friends or they didn't know, but Kerry Lathan sat down with Vlad TV today, and he spoke about exactly what happened that moment. Eric Holder allegedly came around the corner shooting Nipsey Hussle. So I'm just going to play a small audio excerpt, and Sam, Matt, we're going to talk about this. Here's Kerry Lathan, who is now in county lockup.
Can you describe what happened exactly? Me and my nephew were going up the street to console somebody else's parents because they just lost their parents. So he said, "You don't have to keep wearing that shirt." I was like, "What?" He said, "This shirt." I said, "It's clean." He said, "Look, it's dingy. You're in the new world. You're not in prison no more. You can pull right." He said, "Matter of fact, there's no Nipsey in the lot, so you can pull right in and grab you a fresh white shirt." I'm like, "Okay." So when I go in there, they didn't have a white one that I wanted. I said, when y'all gonna get that in again?" He said, "Well, they go Nipsey in the lot. Go talk to him." And I talked to him. He said, that'll be about a week, bro. I said, "Okay." And when I said it, it was all bad. Gunman turned around the car and shot me, then shot Nipsey. And then shot my nephew. I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, what the hell? You know, but I fell on my stomach. And all I could see was people's feet. I couldn't see nothing else. I said, so they got it wrong when they talk about me as being an eyewitness. What was I supposed to do? When I see a gun, I turn around and run. Don't stop and take a selfie of the gunman. I don't do that. I ain't gonna move. You see a gun, you run.
Okay. So the whole shooting happened. You get hit, your nephew gets hit.
In less than 3 seconds, 3 minutes. I was only, if you replay the scenario and see when the black Escalade van truck for that's us in the black truck, it all happened in less than 3 minutes.
Okay, because I guess what, this is why I kind of want to clarify this with you on the phone. Like the story that was circulating was that you and Nipsey knew each other and he was meeting you down there to give you some clothes and you guys had some sort of prior relationship. But what you're saying is that you had no idea, you guys didn't know each other at all. You just showed up and you ran into each other randomly.
No, I know it because I took a few pictures with him.
Right.
Like that.
So he goes on to pretty much say he didn't really know him crazy like that. He was a youngster, when he, was doing his thing and he, was just out just trying to get some clothes, ran in the Nip and seeing this happen. And now you can catch the rest of this interview right now. It's on Vlad TV, on Vlad TV. TV.com, for the full interview right now. But I just want to start to say, we were kind of talking about this when we heard a little bit of it earlier. It seems as if he's starting to already lay out like, look, I ain't seen nothing. They calling me an eyewitness. When I seen the shooter, I'm not taking no selfie. I'm turning around and running and whatnot. And he's trying to, because obviously we know that he, killed somebody before did time. So it's this whole thing about being a snitch now. That he's trying to cover himself. So he's saying he ain't seen nothing pretty much. I don't like it. I don't like it, because a brother was killed, right in front of you. And I'm just not buying that he didn't see exactly, who it was that came around, the corner and shot Nipsey Hussle. Because he said that he seen the guy shoot Nipsey. You know what I mean? No, shoot. Yeah, he said shot him and then Nipsey. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's just like, come on, man. So he shot, then you seen him do that. So you had to see him.
You saw him.
So he, it's more obviously y'all can listen to the rest of the interview. We're just playing that small clip, but I just don't like that, Sam, man. What are your thoughts on just this episode that we heard, from Mr. Lathan, man, speaking of Vlad, man?
Well, I mean, I agree with it, and it goes into detail because it's a little further, and we can read a lot more into what he said in that brief excerpt if you listen to more of the conversation, because we'll dig deeper as it goes along. But that being said, don't act like you didn't sit here and see dude. It did it happen quick? Hell yeah, within a blink of an eye. But you saw him pull up. Apparently he pulled up the asphalt, like he was there initially, then he came back and then they went off and shot. We don't even know if that's true anymore. But right. Towards your story, he came up on you as you were talking to Nip and then boom. So I don't agree with that either. And I think that it's a situation where he is trying to go, I ain't no snitch. This ain't what I'm doing. Oh, God, let me ask you this, though, man, because I know a lot of people in our comment section in particular, when we talk about Tekash and we talk about the whole snitch culture and how we approach things like that when you talk about telling. And the first thing you said was, hey, man, you got to tell, you got to let them know, which I agree with. But there's going to be a lot of naysayers like, well, what you said, don't snitch. So would you please, to the people in the audience and the subscribers that watch and listen, tell them the difference between this eyewitness being shot and telling on the gunman that killed a man in front of him?
Obviously, we know that. I mean, we know that. Obviously, when he talking about snitching, you doing, a crime with the person, y'all get caught up, you know what I mean? And now you're telling everybody. That's what happened with Tekashi. But at the time of the alleged crimes, we see him, on TMZ doing what he did. We all seen what he did, but he talked all this gangster stuff, got pinched and started ratting on the whole team to look like he's going to be free right now. But this is a situation where you got this ex-con who's not supposed to be affiliated with gang members or ex-cons himself as a condition of his parole, going up to Nipsey, didn't really know him like that, but asking him about some gear. Somebody comes around the corner, you know what I mean, and opens fire. He says he don't see him. It's a different situation, but this guy's still going to be looked at as a snitch from some people just because of the lifestyle that he came from. He's going to be looked at like that, period. You know what I mean? It's like, you ain't supposed to say nothing. That's why he's already laying out, his alibi. Like, look, eyewitness, I ain't see nothing. I ain't taking no selfie when somebody comes with a gun. I was turning my back and I turned and run. What the camera footage probably is going to say, from the marathon and T-Mo is probably going to say something totally different than that. But this is what I expect people like this to do. This is the code that a lot of these guys live by. But obviously there's a difference between what Tekashi is doing, in my opinion, and what he will be doing. Because now you're looking at a situation where, all right, if you didn't see him, did your nephew see him? From the picture of his nephew, looked like he's a doctor or some type of surgeon or something like that. So he might not even be in the streets. So is he going to say something? Is he going to identify a holder? Then you put in Nipsey Hussle's family and, the people that are looking for justice for him. Hopefully they do have camera footage, because you already got one guy say he ain't seen shit. Mm-hmm. So it's, it could turn out, this thing could turn out to be, it can go a whole nother way. But I mean, this is the way some people think, man. This is what it is.
I don't believe that his statement and his statement alone will dictate the outcome of Eric Holder based off of the amounts of cameras that they have in the area. I mean, they got the cameras so goddamn good. They could be in a football game and you could be watching it in HD like you are on NFL Sunday. They that clear out there in LA. And then we were talking in our pre-production on Friday with our man Riz, shout out to Riz, and it's locked down out there with cameras. So they got it. That being said, he is definitely laying out his alibi, laying out his reason. And so I don't even want to put this in the C word realm, because I don't think this falls into a conspiracy or anything. I think this is a man that did time who walks under a certain code, who is abiding by that code. That code, let's talk about that real quick. Because all that being said, we all were hit very emotionally by Nipsey Hussle's death. Obviously, his family hit with an earthquake way harder than anybody could imagine.
Right.
Do you blame this man for not saying anything based off of him and how he lives, given the very sensitive nature of this situation in particular?
I expect it. But now it's going to come a situation. It's almost like something happens in the hood and, somebody gets shot and everybody's on the porch. The cops come up. I ain't see shit. It's the same type of situation. Mm-hmm. Some people may say, because they understand the repercussions of them saying something, they're supposed to just shut up and mind their business. You know what I mean? Period. No matter, some people, they know, like, if the kids was out there and they seen it, the parents would be like, you better not say nothing. You ain't see nothing.
Yeah, but usually that's followed up with justice, though. That's usually like, leave cops out of it. We're going to go ahead and handle this ourselves. That's usually followed up with something. This man ain't fitting to do shit.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, it's like, I expect this guy to do this, though, given, his lifestyle, and he done spent like 26 years in the pen. So we already know how snitches and, people are called so-called rats, or whatever you want to call them, anybody cooperating with the police. Maybe he didn't see him, but we'll take that, into consideration. Maybe he couldn't get a positive identification, but, given that the camera angles, maybe the camera wasn't working that day. Hopefully they have those angles. There's been no indication if they do, but we do know there were cameras in front of the T-Mobile store and pretty much all over, and definitely in front of the Marathon store, inside and out. It could turn, into a situation where he could actually, defense can actually use him and say, well, look, the dude right there, right next to Nipsey, said that they could not positively identify Eric Holder as the shooter. That could only help the defense, Chris Darden. It cannot help Nipsey at this point.
Speaking on Chris Darden and speaking on Eric Holder, damn, I almost lost my phone. Speaking on these two, man, and we had a discussion on Friday behind the scenes, and we were talking about, and it's all through the comments, we hear it, how's this dude paying for this? How's he paying for this? And the discussion came up of his father. Now, nothing's been confirmed. It's just word on the street. It's whispers right now that his father's very well off. And they had this dude, Chris Darden, on a retainer prior to. It's also out there, and even though I haven't confirmed to see the video, I've seen a lot of people have said it, that after after everything was said and done, I think a day after, he may have been on his way to an airport or something, he was on his live.
I didn't see that video, though.
I didn't see it either.
Right.
But he was talking about how I got the best lawyer in the state, or best lawyer in the country, whatever he might have said.
I don't think that's true, but yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen it, so
we
I
would
can't
have seen it by now.
You feel me? So,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. This just gets more and more interesting, man. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't really heard anything about the father other than whispers. But as the case comes along and everything starts peeling its way back, man, I think we'll really start being surprised by some things.
Well, what we do know about the guy Eric Holder is that it's ironic. We do know that the guy was retained. Darden was retained. It was a private company, so wherever they remain in unanimous this is his first time getting a lawyer. So obviously, I don't know what connections or anything. His father, I was looking for information on that. We both couldn't find anything on his father. So private company, it's up in the air right now. But I do know as it comes closer to trial, more information will come out. Maybe Eric Holder will release some type of a statement. There's been a whole bunch of alleged stuff. I'm not going to repeat them on the platform right now because it hasn't been confirmed that he's been saying. And we will see, man. You're going to have preliminaries. You're going to have May 10th, I think, is another hearing that's coming up. So the closer it gets to coming to trial for Eric Holder, more information is going to come out, especially if they have the camera angle that everybody's looking for. And I think we'll know probably even the nature of the dispute, because more witnesses are going to be called in. People are going to be called in from the area. They're going to have to speak. But as far as this guy, Lathan, it looks like he's going to stick to that code and say he ain't see shit.
Well, I mean, he may be sitting behind bars again for some time, and that's bullshit.
Yeah.
For sitting there and talking to the business owner. But LA County, we all know how they get down sometimes. Not to throw any jabs at LA County, because we may be out there sometime soon. So not to throw any jabs.
What do you think about that, though? What do you think about him being locked up for being shot, essentially, because he's not supposed to be affiliated?
It's sickening, man.
It's crazy.
It's sickening when you really look at it. And that's a very easy conversation. Why were you sitting with this man? Listen, he's the owner of the building. I needed a white T-shirt. I was asking when they were coming in. He told me I got shot. It was a 3-minute conversation. I wasn't out there doing anything activity. This wasn't nothing quote unquote organized. This wasn't a felon talking to a gang member. This was a patron talking to a business owner. Let's keep it as such. Shit, with the right lawyer, they could argue that. With a Chris Darden, he would have argued that easy. He wouldn't be sitting there. So this is just a real pathetic move on the part of the LAPD when it comes to putting this man behind bars again. Now essentially maybe being paralyzed, be doing 26 years. And now being at the wrong place for a wrong time, asking for a fucking teacher to go see a family member, he's doing time again.
And it just hurts because, just to close out with this conversation, as we were talking in pre-production, it was just like, man, at first everybody kind of thought maybe that was just like his friend, those guys, but it was just a regular everyday dude. Who was just, bottom line is Nipsey was just way too accessible to the public, it seemed. Maybe just at that moment, or just any time Dick and Harry could just walk up and just ask some questions. I get it. I mean, we're like that, you're in the neighborhood and whatnot. But unfortunately, it kind of at this point, it's a tragedy, but I just, it's a messed up situation. I just can't wait to find out what exactly was the nature of the dispute. Why did Eric Holder do it? I'm sure at some point we'll get more information on that. Yeah, I mean, and no one really knows. And I think that's what everyone throughout this whole thing is going to just want to know why and look for an answer. So when you say in frustration, he should have had somebody around him, that's pain, because we want to see him fucking here. Yeah. And anything that we could think of for him to do to be here, we're throwing out there. You know what I mean? So salute to his family still. Absolute condolences. And he definitely is remembered out here. He ain't going nowhere. Facts, definitely, man. But yeah, man, you're tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Old God and Sam, man. We going in, kicking the week off right on this Monday. If you're going to listen to this on Tuesday or whatever day you listen to this, on Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, or whatever other listening podcast platform, please, if you can, go ahead and share this link with at least one other person. Let them know about the podcast. Let them know to check us out at least one time, man. And we do appreciate that, cooperation in advance. Now, earlier, Sam, you was telling me about Freeway, talking about his epic battle with my man Cassidy, who, by the way, is doing some great things right now in the battle rap arena. Yeah, man. Well, I guess all of that, the battle rap that Cassidy has coming up real soon, has everyone talking. And we all know that our man Freeway just had very successful kidney transplant surgery. So salute to Freeway. Well, he had that conversation with the Source magazine. Let me find the actual writer of this story right here, N.D. Smith. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Salute to you, because this is an incredible article. But he got into it, man, and he laid it out. And this was from our era. This is something that we remember very vividly. The Rock. Thanks. We remember Rough Riders. That was just like, damn, these two epic people, these two epic brands, man, they were insane. So let me get into a little bit of what he said. Here it is. He said the energy around this night and the work that everyone knew was coming just a few months later had Jay-Z on the phone, according to Freeway, stunting on Swiss Beats. Now, while Freeway doesn't remember what was said, he does know that after that night, they went back to the Bellstein studio for a quick moment to recoup.
but shortly after, he was whisked to another studio for another session. Jay-Z was like, let's go. They arrived at the studio and was met by Swiss Beats, some members of the Lox, and Cassidy, their new guy. Freeway says on that night, that's how it was back then. At any time, you would be called to the battle. You had to be prepared to rap at any second. It didn't matter where or who. Now, when he walked into the room, he didn't know who Cassidy was by face, but he knew his name. Oh, God, that's just to break this up real quick. That was very surprising to me. Both of them being from Philly, both of them being rappers. I guess maybe we were just a little younger in age.
Internet wasn't popping like that.
It wasn't social media. We were just naive to that. You know what I mean? But that's crazy. He said, we knew each other. We knew who each other were. Excuse me. I knew him because he had a name for himself. He would call up to Power 99, the radio station in Philly, and he would win all the freestyle contests on the air. There wasn't any social media like there is now, like we just said. And so I didn't know what he looked like, but I knew his name. Now, he went on to say, even though they were from Philly, he wouldn't answer our question. He said, the editor said, but Cass and Free seemed to be on other parts of each other's world. Cass was at Central High School, one of the top schools in the city, and Free was in the cut. Without social media and acute geographical and neighborhood bias, their circles would not have met up. And then Freeway went on to say, I believe Bull was from somewhere uptown and I'm from North Philly. So let's get back into the actual battle. Back at the studio from The Rock, it was Chris, Beans, and Freeway. And they were repping, obviously, the Rock side. Jay picked Freeway. And there it went. It went 6 rounds. Obviously, we remember Freeway in the 6th round rapped only half of the battle to the point where he said, he put on the beat or something like that. Put on the beat. So his response to that says, I don't want to sound like I'm making an excuse, but I had been rapping all day. I don't know what he was doing. After a while, I just went into my bag. Now, if you don't remember, oh God, the legendary freestyle of Funk Flex back in the day that we played millions of fucking times throughout our life with The Rock. I think Chris Vanice was up there, Hove was up there, Beans, you feel me? So real close and dear to our hearts.
Yeah.
That was the same day.
Wow.
So Free was working, man. Does that change your perspective on this legendary battle? Go ahead.
Yours. Nah, man. Because, you know, I love Freeway. You know, as a matter of fact, if you do see this, you know, congratulations, you know, for your successful surgery. We wish you, you know, nothing but success, health, and wealth, you know, in the future. But Cassidy just gave it to him that day. Ain't no excuse, man. It's just like, you know, Kobe could pay 4 or 5 pickup games. But that 6th game, he can't say, oh, well, damn, you know, I was playing all day. Nah, this is what we do. I do that every day anyway, if you're a rapper like that. Now, back in the day, the crazy part about it, I was Rockefeller head. So I was making excuses for Freeway. I was like, yo, nah, Free got it. They should have just put the beat on and this, that. But at the end of the day, punchlines out of this world. I mean, Cassidy pretty much toe tagged and body bagged, you know, Freeway, you know, lyrically that day. And it just was, you know, what it was. It was just, you know, and he might not even be a better per se rapper. Cassidy might not be a better rapper, but as far as battle rapper freestyling, Cassidy's the best probably ever to do it right now. I don't think anybody can beat Cassidy.
Well, he said he created battle rap, not to cut you off. Oh God, I mean,
hell yeah,
there'd be a lot of people that would argue that and discuss that, but it's a lot of he can argue. He could definitely be one to argue that he is, and he's one of the best that ever do it. I'm not gonna lie. I love Cass. I love his bars. I think he is one of the best to ever do it. When you get into the battle ring with him, you got some body ready to throw every shot that you could take. He's not my favorite.
Who's your favorite? Who could beat him?
Who
in the battle rap? Nobody. None. Name him.
See,
name him. Nobody touching Cass, yo. He already proved that he's going through ripping everybody up in all them little battle.
Shout out to Sue Surf from Jersey, man. This Jersey's in the fucking building. I love Philly, but I mean, I'm a Jersey dude, and not to say that he would give him any. Just shout out to Jersey, man. I'm
so
not
who you think would beat Cassidy though?
Let me think about it. I don't want to throw anything offhand because I'm gonna give respect enough to Cass to accurately say. You know, a lot of people have been talking about us talking and getting to a little bit more underground rap and smack URL. Right. And talking about that, which would be great discussion,
no doubt.
And we should get into it because it is a whole different sport in itself, and it needs to be recognized a lot better. Because when you look at what you hear on the radio, and you're somebody that really just enjoys bars, even though you can hear bars on the radio and things like that, and you enjoy both, to be able to hear somebody look another man in his face and just go at him for 10 minutes and they come off the cuff for 3 rounds, that shit's different. And you can write all you want and have everything ready. But when you talking round 2 or round 3, You gotta give respect to these brothers. This shit's coming off the fucking top.
Yeah.
It's coming off the top, and it's not easy to do. You don't hear any music. You got the crowd around you. It's like a dog fight.
So can you now concede that Cassidy is the
I'm not
best?
conceding shit.
I'm
not conceding shit. Oh God, I'm not even. Go ahead.
Because the thing is, because people tried the shit that you tried, like, oh, he's not that you said this, but he's washed up. He can't compete with those type of battle rappers no more. He went in. He's been destroying every person they put in front of him. I don't think it's going to stop. He's one of the originators of this. He's one of the best that ever did it, if not the best battle rapper that ever walked the planet. I'll say that. I'll go on record to say that.
He definitely has bars. His wordplay is insane. Yeah. He might be swinging on the stick a little bit, but I'm not going. I'm not. You can't name. It's been 5 minutes, and we're still waiting for a name better than Cassidy. I'm gonna take. Out of respect, I'm gonna give him a minute. I gotta go back and listen.
It's been 5.
I'm gonna go back and listen. Shit. You're not gonna get one today.
All right.
I'll concede to that today, but
all right, we'll talk about
the more we get into Smack URL, the more we get into battle rap, the more we start getting into it, the closer he gets to his battle.
I'm sure people gonna put it in the comment section. This guy could beat Cassidy, this, that.
Oh, they're gonna start running their mouth.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it live on Friday.
Cassidy been talking. I don't know if you follow his IG, but he's been talking a lot of trash lately about a lot of different people.
I seen him on
flex his muscle.
I seen him on Queen's Flip. And he had the stare down. I guess with who was he even battling? My man.
Is it the heavyset cat?
Hitman Holla.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I'm not. I don't even know if Hitman Holla's the fucking. I don't know.
He is an artist, but yeah.
Nah.
Y'all niggas know what the fuck I'm talking about.
No, we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. I don't know who he's battling, to be honest with you. But
yeah.
I seen him on Queen's Flip, and they were doing a talk back and forth, and that shit was cold. They were really getting into it, so they really prepping it up and hyping it like a fight. To where people can go. I think it's on pay-per-view or something like that. You got to watch it exclusively. So salute to it, man.
Yeah, I just don't see the guy losing. I think, he's going to continue. Like you said, man, it's like he's the type of guy that obviously he prepares, but it just comes off he's done it so many times and won so many battles off the top of the dome that right now it's almost like, I think, second nature to a guy like him. Mm-hmm. Once he studies you and gets to know you, and then that's one thing, but just being in the heart of the battle was just like, that Jordan comes out game 6, game 7 with guys like that. And he's just one of those guys, man.
Okay, so does the show matter to you? Because when people can come with bars and they also put on a show, that matters to me. And sometimes Cassidy's show doesn't meet up to expectations other shows that I do.
What do you mean show? Like him doing backflips and screaming and hollering?
I'm not talking about buck dancing nothing wild, but I'm just like, I don't know if you ever watched a real good battle rap. It's a show involved that comes more than the bars. More than
man, it's the bars.
Show me shit, man.
Why you can move the crowd?
Fuck yeah, that shit matters, man.
I mean, Cassidy got a lot. Come on, man. I mean, what really impressed me, he went against the Cat Disaster, and when he started using his style and everything, it was just good, man. It was awesome. I think for the sport and whatnot, and it just proved to me like, yo, can't nobody touch this dude because Disaster was doing his thing. You know what I mean? But Cassidy totally destroyed him 3 rounds to 0. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, he
totally went totally.
Everyone expected him though.
Yeah, people was kind of expecting him to lose that joint, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know what I mean? But yeah, we're gonna see. I'm sure people, if in the comment section, if you listen to this or wherever you listen to it, let us know who you think can beat Cassidy right now in a battle 1-on-1.
We'll talk about it Friday. We're gonna get into this Friday. Because fuck that.
Yeah.
Salute the cast though.
Definitely.
All day long.
Yes, sir. But you tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Old God, and Sam Ant sitting over there from Viral Hip Hop News. If you're listening on YouTube, do me a favor. Go ahead and hit the like button and make sure that you share this video. That's the only 2 things that we ever ask you to do. Hit the like button and share the video. Now, I want to talk about this because we were saying last week, it was like full Nipsey hustle. A lot of things kept coming out.
Last 2 weeks.
Yeah, last 2 weeks pretty much. But Drink Champ sat down with Birdman almost 2 years now after Rick Ross came to Weezy's defense with Idols Become Rivals, which actually a great album. Well, the verse that Birdman was responding to, it was Rick Ross. He said, "I pray you find the kindness in your heart for Wayne. His entire life he gave you what there was to gain. I watched this whole debacle, so I'm part to blame." He said some more stuff in there, pretty much coming at Birdman, saying how he made this and left people starving.
$500 million.
Yeah.
Team starving, nigga.
Yeah, and pretty much, just reprimanding him for his situation with Wayne. Now, Birdman finally, I don't know why it took so long for him to talk about this, but He said, and I quote, "I just came up. I mind my own mother effing business." Birdman said about the controversy, "I don't get in no other nigga's business. So when another nigga in another nigga's business, to me, that's a violation. That's how I come up. Simple. I ain't never been no man to speak down on no man in this business. Never did." Birdman continued to say, "That ain't my thing because I know how hard this shit is. I ain't here to downplay a nigga. I want to see a nigga come up, period. So as far as me speaking down on a nigga, I don't ever do it. Now, if a nigga disrespect me, it's F him. It's F him or bitch. We kill, we shoot, whatever you want to do. But as far as me speaking down on another nigga in this game, that ain't my MO, because I do my thing." And as we know, this is in response to Rick Ross once again reprimanding him about the way that he handled the Lil Wayne situation, the contract dispute, paying him the money that he allegedly owed him and whatnot. We know they handled that since, then. But Sam, man, what do you think about, Birdman finally addressing this? A lot of people didn't talk about this, but we are. Yeah. What do you think about him, finally, pretty much, I would say, checking Rick Ross?
You know what? I don't have a problem with it.
Not at all.
I don't have a problem with it at all. I like what he did. I like how he did it. Now, I don't have a problem with Rick Ross coming at him on album.
No.
And here's why. When you do shady business like you did, you have absolute right to receive criticism. When you do it in song, the way he did it, and Rick Ross may have spoken on it maybe once or twice, but he didn't really go in there and give you a spew campaign. If you listen to the record, you fucking listen to it. If you didn't, you didn't. But he didn't go out here and try to make a campaign that you were a dog or anything like that. He let it go. It was what it was. You could have equally returned the favor. You're a CEO, you're a mogul now. You don't do that. But for you to go and walk and talk among your morals, which is, look, man, that's not what I do. I ain't mad at that. Word. I ain't mad at that at all because I can appreciate and respect that. That's not what you do. You ain't out here doing it. Cool. You understand the nature of how he went about it. All right, fuck it. I'm not going to really get into it. I'm not going to talk about it on wax. Maybe they had a discussion off camera. That's what seems to happen. And this is a lot of the criticism that I give a lot of the people in today's social media, that a lot of things and people may criticize us and talking about certain things, but you got to really look at the source and how the information was provided, because if certain things didn't go certain ways, we wouldn't have any ammo to talk about, i.e. Kodak Black, T.I. in the game. If that was handled different, not to go back on that, we might not have had the ammo and gas of last week to talk about that bullshit. Right. If this was handled differently, I appreciate what Birdman does, because I can almost guarantee, as opposed to a situation getting gassed, and by no means are we trying to gas this, we're just having great discussion because, like I said, first off, I love the song. I thought Birdman did dirty, and I thought Ross did a great job at articulating that. And I appreciate and love Birdman's response. Well, I kind of feel Birdman with this one a little bit when he, pretty much saying like, nigga, mind your fucking business at the end of the day. Yeah. I hear that too. You know what I mean? If he ain't had nothing to do with it, but again, this is how, stuff goes down in this world. Some people, interject themselves, and he wasn't the only one. Other people actually interject. He also talked about Rick Ross, a situation. I guess he allegedly burned DJ Khaled as well. Yeah. Now, let me say, because we say mind your fucking business. This is what Birdman was saying essentially, and we agree to that 100%. But if let's say you that fly on the wall in the studio, and you see one of your people, now not necessarily, it might not be a longtime friend, it might not be this, might not be a family member, but somebody that you grinded with, they put in the work and they deserve compensation, get jerked the fuck off, jerked over all the way through. Do you feel like you got the ammo to say something now, or should you still mind your fucking business? If I'm there and I just know about it, I mean, me personally, it's none of my business. You know what I mean? But, I'm not a rapper. Maybe if I was a rapper, it might be different. I might, but I don't know. Maybe he felt some type of way. Obviously he felt some type of way to make a whole song about it and whatnot. But, it's like you can't, if somebody hits you, you can't, or you hit somebody, you can't get mad. They come up and do whatever they do to you because they just responding to it. So, I mean, Birdman's well within his right to respond this way. The great thing about it is that the dispute right now is resolved. Yeah. It looks like between Weezy and Birdman, and it's something really a thing of the past at this point, but it was definitely hot. I remember talking about this, back then, this whole thing, it was popping, back then. But, I love the song and whatnot, but I don't have a problem with Birdman telling Rick Ross to mind his fucking business here. I don't either. And I love the song too. Yeah. And I agree. I love the song. I love listening to it. I don't disagree with the song, but I'm one of the mindset, keep all things in house, especially things like that. Now, we all know that Birdman was doing some shiesty shit. We've seen it when it came to Weezy. Seemingly, I was one to say right here on this platform numerous times that he was done. just based off all the bullshit he was going through with the contract and not releasing music and just seemingly frustrated with the business, going through my minuscule piece of that business at the time.
Right.
So just kind of feeling for him. I thought that really just put a wane on him. So Birdman deserved criticism, but looking back on it now, man, you got to keep everything in house.
But the crazy part about this, not to cut you off, is that Blueface is now on the Cash Money, so it's more artists. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying,
he don't know shit about his paperwork.
Oh man,
nothing.
Damn, we did the video on that.
Yep.
But yeah, man, that's people are still going back. I will say this though, I think that Birdman has shown himself to be a great judge of talent.
Yeah,
I mean, you're talking about the Cash Money roster and what they put out. So the good comes with the bad with that. Even with the whole Wayne thing, yeah, pay him his money, but at the end of the day, I mean, these guys are multi-millionaires as a result of this dude. You know what I mean? I mean, like beyond anything that they could ever do. But I'm not saying that he should be jerking them, but they're responsible. He's responsible, for putting them guys in position.
Yeah, you could go back to the Hot Boys. I mean, he's an incredible judge of talent. He's an incredible A&R. He knows how to find talent out there.
Right.
And he went in that conversation with his battles with No Limit, Master P, and Silk the Shocker and them boys down there. And when you look back at it now and remembering those as kids, and you having your sides, kind of like the Rough Riders and the Rockefellers up here on the East.
Yeah,
they were doing their thing about the same time, killing it down there, down south. To look at where they're at now and not to have our Rough Riders here, not to have our Rock here, but to still see your No Limits. So, I mean, I don't even want to say that because Master P is a mogul.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got Birdman, who's a mogul. Jay-Z is a mogul. Yeah. Swiss Beats is a mogul. So salute to them brothers out there doing their thing. But it seemed like it was a lot more solidarity with No Limit and Cash Money a little bit.
I mean, we're not, because it was like, I get what you're saying, because it's like Rough Riders was a powerhouse.
Come on, man.
Rockefeller was a powerhouse. It was back then. It was like about the labels, and it's not like that no more. It's like the labels is irrelevant. You had even the Firm Biz, and it was the click up thing. And then remember who was Rod Dick? Flip Mode.
Yeah,
what I mean. You had all the Wu-Tang, so it ain't like that no more. We come from the heyday of hip hop, and it was just like you represented your set. Right now, Rough Riders is decimated, even though the leader, obviously Swizzy, is doing his thing.
Salute.
Where's Drag? What those other people? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But salute to him. Everything is not made. Yeah. Everything is not made to last. Eve, she's damn near pretty much a billionaire at this point. So people moved on, man, and did their thing. I'm just glad that we were able to witness that, man.
That's a fact. What a classic era we go and we lived in when we look at the era and rap that we had going into the late 90s and early 2000s up east, down south.
Yeah.
In Florida, because you had Trick Daddy doing his thing in Florida, and then you had Atlanta going out there doing their thing with the Yin Yang Twins and Lil Jon and the East Side Bowls and Outkast with that real conscious, soulful rap. You know what I mean? And just, man, what a great era we lived in. The fuck is going on now?
I don't know, man. I wouldn't blame the South. You
can't look at all the people.
I mean, they got a lot of great, but it's man, that I don't know, man. You gotta just gravitate towards the great stuff and don't listen to the bullshit.
I blame the culture, man, and I blame social media to a certain degree, where a lot of people started dumbing it down. And you look at 60 seconds worth of content, then it's here today, going tomorrow. It's such at a fast pace to where we can't even take time to really hone in on our craft and create these things that we've seen. And a lot of people want to see things so fast that we can no longer wait for a week for a layout for something. Our patience isn't there. Yeah. So it's a totally different era. And then you got to add in the culture with the drugs and things like that. We went from selling it and wanting to sell it to our babies taking it. So I guess we're just going through a transition in time and the music is seeing it.
Definitely, man. But hey, man, we're here to witness it. We're going to keep documenting it. We do appreciate everybody who listens, the positive, the negative comments. We do see them all, and we encourage you to just to keep on engaging the content, man. But yeah, man, another episode of the Uncensored Truth podcast in the books. Our Monday episode. Some people probably listening to this at all different times. We do appreciate each and every listener. But yeah, man, we'll be back tomorrow, Thursday, Friday. We're gonna keep it rocking. Friday night, as y'all know, we go live 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our YouTube channel. It's called the Uncensored Truth Podcast channel. Just type it in YouTube and you can find us there. And if you want to catch us live on Friday nights, we will be live Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Always excited about that, man, getting with the people and really enjoying it. We really didn't get with the people the way we like to last Friday because we had Riz in the building, the orchestrator, behind more Malcolm, less Martin, the song you hear on Viral Hip Hop News Uncensored, and of course, the Uncensored Truth Podcast official channel, the most underrated, hottest podcast on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, wherever the fuck you listen to podcasts or watch them jokers.
Yeah.
You know we the authority when it comes to hip hop news, and we humbly appreciate each and every one of y'all that give their support. Do me a favor to anybody that listens on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, leave a comment. Show your support. Drop that 5-star in there. I know we don't ask for that much, but leave your rating. Let us know how you feel. Let us know what you think, because the more you do that, the higher and higher we go up in these ranks, and we see you. We see the numbers. We see where you're touching, or we see where we're touching, and we appreciate it so much. So if you can, make sure you hit that star all the way up to 5. You already know the deal, and leave a comment to your Uncensored Truth Podcast, brothers. Let us know we are in the building and we doing the damn thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But yeah, with that being said, man, that's all we got for y'all today, man. Make sure y'all be safe out there, and once again, always give us that 5-star rating, and go ahead and make sure you share this video, or at least one other person text it or share it on your Facebook timeline. We're gonna go out today with the tunes of Riz, 609 and Conway. You can find that link in the description as well on YouTube. Go show that brother some love. That's all we got.
We out of here. Till tomorrow. We love y'all.
Peace.
Peace.
Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to?
Hopping out the Lex, I felt like Malcolm X. Marching with the shooters like Martin Luther. 40 cal SK or the fucking Ruger. Don't ever question if I got the heart to shoot.